How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another Counterside video. So we have the official information breakdown from Studio B-side from the Origin Showcase. And there's a few tidbits in here that are nice for clarification and extra info. So we're going to go over them real quick, and I'm going to try and be quick and efficient with this information so we're not sitting here for another hour. So let's do it. First little tidbit, and this is really quick and something that is worth putting out there, is that the schedule for the maintenance and patch notes is changing. Before it was, Wednesday mornings at like 2 a.m., so, every Tuesday night or whatever, for patch notes, and then 24 hours after that, it would be the actual maintenance. Well, it's just being moved back a day. So now it would be every Tuesday morning or Monday night, however you want to look at that. You'll be getting the patch notes, and then the following day, same time, you'll be getting the actual maintenance. So it just means, you're going to be getting those patch note videos a day earlier from me. But that was just worth pointing out so people know that, because it is fairly important, so that way you don't get caught in the middle of something when maintenance starts. And then also worth throwing in there that after the Origin update on the 8th of February, all your quantum coordinate crystals and dive reset devices will be deleted from the game during maintenance. So spend them before they're gone. Get them, use them, be done with them, because they're going away. So just make sure you do that. This is all next week, of course, February 8th. So now into the actual translation info stuff. So first off, a little clarification, a little quick tidbit. I'm not going to read all the text here, because it is very much spoilers for Global that I've already spoiled myself. And it's right here in the bottom, very small text. It is just confirming the translation that we saw in Pridewind, that Ray is a Counterpass awakened unit. So you can guarantee this is a Counterpass character we will be getting on Global in the future. I don't know how long in the future, but in the future this is a Counterpass we will get. Ray's coming to Counterpass. And the actual banner one will be Rosaria. So Ray and Rosaria. Also, there's a good look at both of their models. Counterpass for Ray, actual summoning for Rosaria. So this next bit is a little speculative on my part, but the way it's worded here, I feel like I want to point it out. And that's the strategy battle, the chess battle that's being deleted. They're removing that section of building your squads. So you only have the one squad building screen, and if you spent any quartz to unlock more of those squads, they will be refunding that, of course. But the way they word it, it sounds like the mission, the free contract missions, are still going to be there. They're just going to be done differently. So that means, that quartz and stuff might still be there, so it should still be, able to be gotten. That being the just a little thing I'm speculating on, those missions might still be there, and you just do them kind of like side missions, I guess. But the more information about that will be released kind of in a separate announcement, they said. More specifically towards the refund if you spent quartz to unlock those extra squads. But now there's only going to be the one squad screen instead of the two. So, and then right into the next one, which is something we knew about, they hadn't mentioned before, but this is just further going into it. And that's Substreams, which is the side stories. So every side story every event that we have received will be added as a side story. And the side stories are being called Substreams now. Because at the end of the day, a lot of those events and a lot of those side stories are very story relevant things for the main story that kind of go on in the background or at a separate time or concurrently when the main story is going on, and you just can't see both at the same time because, main story follows Fenrir, etc. and so forth. So Substream, all the past events, all of those stories will be added into Substream, and going forward, every new event will just be added directly into Substream and just be there. So side stories are basically being renamed Substreams, I guess. I guess that's what they're doing with that. And all the past events are coming into it, and all new events will just go right there immediately. So they're accessible any time, even outside of their events. The one little tidbit here I do want to point out that I think is new information is after the release of a new event episode or a new substream, the event-specific currency drop rate will be increased for a certain time to give CEOs the same efficiency to acquire rewards as before. So by that wording, by what I am led to understand here, is events will continue to give out like the currency that you would normally farm when they're just an event, and their shop will be like in the permanent section of the shop somewhere, and you go in there and you can buy it all out. And then during a period when that substream and that new event is new going forward, there'll just be at an increased drop rate so that you can, you know, get the stuff quicker, faster by playing the event. And therefore, even after the event's over, and for past or for new players and whatnot, you can still farm those events and get all of those items that, you know, were missing or that you did not get in the when the event ran. This is pretty important specifically for like from the maze or the maze event essentially, because of that extra set of maze gear. So it's fairly relevant and good information. But any more information like regarding those events and those shops and whatnot will be released, you know, in the patch note for the event and whatnot, any specifics like that. So quickly going over this, since they're taking away the use of duplicates for breaking the level cap and you're only using fusion cores, now they're changing that reward in the counter pass. It is also that noted here that transmitting data of SR and SSR employees will no longer allow CEOs to acquire unit data of the transmitted employees. So that you're no longer, you know, transmitting employees for the rearmament data and unit data, you're just getting the rearmament data going forward. And also, unit data that were used to level rearmed employee skills will be refunded, and specific details on that will be in a separate announcement. So any characters that you've rearmed using unit data, you will get that unit data back. So more duplicates of those characters, which you can feed into the new dupe system. And then also right here is field experience. As it is now, whenever you go into a mission and do a mission of any kind, afterwards, if your character's not at max level, they get a little bit of experience or some kind of experience, usually based on how much turnium you use. So you can level up characters just by running missions over and over. It's very common for a lot of people to go to the event stage that they're farming their event currency in. After they finish it, cleared it, got the 3-star, they'll just put in a bunch of units they want to level into in like an empty squad, and you know, you just skip like 50, 60 times or whatever, and all that experience goes into them and levels them up. They're doing away with that. You can't get experience by using the unit in content anymore. Now every time you do a mission, you get, you know, the contract things that you use to, you know, feed experience into them. Appraisals, that's the word. And you'll get appraisals equivalent to how much experience you would have got before, and then you just use appraisals. Basically, it's just merging it all into the only way you level units is with appraisals now. So that is worth noting, because, well, now you don't skip missions with, you know, a bunch of like level 1 units to get them leveled up anymore. Now you just go use the appraisals. You just have to use appraisals going forward, which is fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not a huge fan, but it's fine. So the next little bit is about our growth content renewal, or what is kind of their end game PvE content, as they wanted to call it. Dimension trimming, which, thank you to the viewer who corrected me on this. I'm sorry, I did not look at your name beforehand so I could give you a proper shout out, but you know who you are. Dimension trimming, which is a new PvE content in KR, and I think the other versions, Global just doesn't have it quite yet. I guess we'll be getting it soon. But Dimension Trimming, Relic Challenge, and Shadow Palace, the growth contents that require repeated play will have their stack and repeat operations replaced by the skip function. In other words, skip function coming to Shadow Palace, the Relic Dungeon, and that new Dimension Training. So, very cool. Also, Shadow Palace, Relic Challenge, and Dimension Training will be integrated into a growth content to allow CEOs to farm high-end equipment step by step. So, the order that CEOs can obtain the equipment is as follows: Shadow Palace, Swift Relic, Dimension Trimming equipment, Maze equipment. Here's the big tidbit, because, you know, craftable maze gear. After clearing a renewed Dimension Trimming content, CEOs will be able to acquire dimension cubes. CEOs will be able to create maze equipment using this material. So maze equipment sounds like the highest end of our PvE high-end gear grind stages. So probably going to be a bit more on the difficult side, but that is where you will be going to farm that. So if you can do Shadow Palace, fine. If you can do the Relic Dungeon stuff, fine. You'll probably be fine on the new missions for the maze equipment, and if not, then the maze equipment is a little bit ahead of you, and you will, have to work your way up towards it and just make do with all of the maze equipment you get in other places. And the difficulty of dimension trimming will be adjusted with the instant finish gimmick removed. So if you are from the JP servers, KR servers, whatever, and you have been playing dimension trimming, that's being removed for you. And the currency that CEOs can get from each content will become 1 to provide convenience when creating equipment. In other words, all like one currency that's there to be used between them all. Not the materials, but the currency. Just one between them all, just to make it ease of access, so you're not having to go different places for different things. So challenge content renewal for dive, raid, and normal challenge. This is a little bit more information on the dive information that we were looking at before. Dive content's dive reset device item will be replaced with a new entry token, dive permit. 2 dive permits will be given automatically on a daily basis, and upon starting a dive, 1 dive permit is consumed. On the lowest depth the CEO has cleared, the CEO can select a safe mining option to gain a certain amount of Eternium. Conducting a safe mining will consume 1 dive permit and will instantly gain a certain amount of Eternium. The deeper a CEO safe mines, the more reward the CEO will get. This is still under development, some details may change, but what this is saying is basically, from what I understand and going off of what I know prior, from what Prideman was saying when they were, translating the live stream and whatnot, is so daily the thing will reset. You can use 1 dive permit or daily or weekly, they don't know which. So under the premise that it's daily, you use 1 of your dive permits to instantly clear up to the highest clear you've gotten in your dive, right? And then you can use 1 to challenge a new stage to try and push yourself a little bit further, and then the next day do the same thing. Now if it's a weekly reset on this, you use 1 of your first 2 out of the week, so that's 14 in a week, right? 1 of your 14, your first one, to instantly jump yourself up to whatever the highest is you can do. And then you use the other one to just go ahead and, try and progress. Now this, you're only getting Eternium when you do that, so maybe you want specific rewards. So you can jump up to where you want the specific reward from that mission, use 1 to do that mission. Next day, jump up again to the next one you want to get the reward from, do that mission for that day. And that's only if it's a weekly reset thing, right? And, even if it's a daily reset, you can do that to try and farm some of those materials probably. But I'm leaning a little bit more on it being a weekly reset, just kind of off of that new information there. But of course, it is all still subject to change. It is all details and things they're currently working on. So we will see when it's live how it actually works. But overall, I'm kind of liking the direction they're going with it. It does seem a little bit better. And so there is a little bit more here. And so the dive squad formation and the ammunition limitation will be removed. And artifact effects will improve and new artifacts will be added. There's a picture going over some of the new artifacts there. The combat gimmicks during the dive will be enhanced to a point where CEOs would feel a little bit of a challenge. I'm not entirely sure what that means. But essentially, I guess it's making the dives, the lower level dives, a little bit more interesting. And I guess even the higher level dives a little bit more interesting in how they're changing things. Now, here's an interesting thing for your branches on the world map. Branch facilities going out of service. The command center, Colossal Radio, or the Colossus Radio Telescope, and Spatial Coordinates Amplifier are going out of service. So you will no longer be using those or needing those. And the branch facility expansion requirement removal for the PR department is you no longer need that for the branch facility expansion. So what does that mean? Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty straightforward. You no longer need those facilities, the Command Center, Colossus Radio Telescope, Spatial Coordinate Amplifier, to do those things. They will just be things that you can do. And the PR department, well, you're not restricted by that when you are doing the expansion for your branch facility. So to further read what they have here, branch facilities that increase the chance of dives and other abnormalities will be removed. So no longer can you increase the chance, because I guess they don't say it here, I don't think, but essentially it means that's just, that chance will just be there now. You don't need to increase it. It's always going to be at a set percent or chance. The rate at which the dive will appear after deployment will drop. Okay. So, you have a less of a chance. But then again, you can also do the dive tower more now, so kind of a balancing act there. But the rewards given after clearing said spontaneous dives will increase. So this is specifically talking about dives here. So, no longer, so the chance of a dive spawning whenever you finish a mission at your world map will, decrease from what it is now. That's in line with the fact that we can be doing our dive tower more. So, you don't need them to spawn as much. But when they do spawn, the reward they give will be increased. So, there's that. And then also, challenge tickets are being removed because you can do challenge stages at any times. And then a new raid boss will be added in the near future, and they will alternate seasonally. And from what I'm led to understand in a later part of this, so I'll go ahead and say it now, is basically it's after this next cycle. So right now it's Breacha in Global, and then we're going to get Inhibitor. And then we'll probably get Breacha again, Inhibitor again, and then the new one, if I'm led to understand correctly, but we might get it after that next Inhibitor. But they're going to let the cycle play through, and then it's going to be introduced in its native spot, which will be after Inhibitor. So for Danger Close and Gauntlet, a little slight clarification on the new schedule for Danger Close is you have 2 weeks to battle it, 1 week to claim your reward, and then 1 week that's just a break where there is no Danger Close. So basically, once a month, we have one boss where the first half of the month you can challenge the boss. Then you have the third week in the month to get your reward. So don't forget to claim your rewards, obviously. And then you'll have a week off where you don't have to worry about Danger Close before the new Danger Close boss starts. And then the Danger Close exchange shop will also renew to reward for participating in a competition to increase content's interest. There's two ways you can look at this. One is they're going to refresh the shop and you can get more of the gear. I don't think that's the way I don't think that's what they meant. I think it means they're going to add more to the Danger Close shop to use those points on. If you've already gotten all the maze gear and all the hummingbird gear from the Danger Close shop, which some people out there have, then you've gotten it. They're not going to, add more. They're not going to refresh that. So if, say there's 2 maze hands. You got both maze hands. They're not going to refresh it, so there's 2 maze hands again. And then they might add 2. Say there's 4 maze hands to get, and then you could get 2 more. Sure, but I don't think that's what they're adding. I think they're adding more rewards outside of the gear, unit data, binaries, things like that, to just give you more options to spend those points on once you've gotten the gear, once you've gotten the things that don't refresh. Because they do specifically say renew, not refresh. So I think that just means, spicing up the shop, giving you more options. So I debated on talking about this, and I guess I will throw this in here because I guess it is pertinent information. The collaboration event, the Hollow Myth Collab, when it reruns, it will be the same as the initial collaboration. So they aren't changing anything about it. So we're just going to have the same collaboration run again. So the RNG and the lacklusterness of it is going to be the same. But it does seem like it does give global players a chance for a second free skin, I guess. Or for one of the many players that didn't get the first free skin because of the RNG factor, you have another chance at getting the free skin, I guess. So there's that. So little tidbit here from the wedding skins that were briefly shown. I very, very briefly pointed at. There will be, these are new skins being added to the wedding theme. There will be new skins added to other existing themes. And with the release of the new wedding skins, there's going to be a wedding-themed supplement event episode, side story added. So, boom. There's a wedding-themed side story coming. Cool. And then also, after the wedding skins, they are planning to add more of the, like, casino bunny girl skin things because it's the year of the rabbits. So, look forward to more of those. Then I want to bring mention to this as well for the co-op battle renewal. After the Consortium co-op battle season reset, progress bar will no longer reset. The co-op battle will be renewed so that CEOs can focus more on the boss fights, and a new co-op boss will be added. And then the co-op battle rewards will also renew to be more attractive. And of course, with the new co-op boss, they'll alternate, kind of like how the raid seasons do. Not really sure what this means, to be honest with you. After the co-op battle season reset, the progression bar will no longer reset. Don't really know what they mean there. I don't know if that means, like, if you kill, like, levels 1 through, 8, when the next season starts for it, you just start at 9. I don't know. That's the closest, understanding of it I can come up with. And it's meant that you can focus more on the boss fight, and the little side fights around it you do every week is one of the things they said they're working on. So more emphasis on that boss fight. So okay, that's the co-op information. I just felt like it was worth pointing out. And there's a last tidbit here. It has a little bit of future casting information. This is mostly for KR, but it does show us some things on the horizon for global as well. So Substream, Charade, so that's another event that's coming. There's going to be 2 new SSR employees, 1 new operator, the Bunny Girl skins, Rearm Edith twins, an employee balance update. So not sure if that's just for like a couple individual employees and across the board balance update. We don't know. We'll see. Substream Exile, so that's another event. The new Awakened unit, Counterpass, new raid boss, co-op battle renewal, and new boss. Ship balance update. So, don't know if that's individual ship or, all the ships. And then we have a collection renewal. So, changing something in the collection screen. Hopefully this adds a few of the, event cutscenes or little stories that aren't there that are kind of worth knowing, because there's a few small little, like the events we get that run for like an entire month, but there's like 4 missions in it and it's mostly cutscenes. None of those are in your collection where the rest of your story, rewatchability is. And sometimes there's some interesting bits in those. So those might be added there, hopefully. Maybe that's something that's being, changed or added with the renewal. We don't really know, but they didn't really say. But collection renewal, and that might change, how the collection screen's navigated and stuff too. Detailed employee profile. I don't know what that means either, but that's exciting because, maybe one of the things that I've personally asked for is, in the employee profiles, if it actually explained what a particular counter's power was, because it's never super clear until you use the character. Like, what is their power? And even then when you use the character, you're like, okay, so what is your power? What are you doing exactly? So it would be kind of cool to see, that kind of information. And it's probably going to be information along those lines, if not that specifically. Like this character's age, this character's ethnicity, this character's, place of birth. It might be that kind of information. Just more world building stuff is kind of what I'm anticipating. And it's what I would really like. Just more information about the characters would be cool. New Substreams, so new event for Elysium. I'm assuming that means the Elysium Philharmonic. So maybe new characters for that as well. New raid boss. Is that 2 new raid bosses? There's probably 1 new raid boss. But new ship. Employee balance update. So another employee balance update. So maybe they're doing all of them in 2 batches. We don't know. Mainstream episode 11. 6 Wings. So the 6 Wings are back on the scene with episode 11 apparently. They are finally doing something. 2 new Awakened employees, 2 new SSR employees, 2 new Counterpasses, 1 new operator, and 2nd Prestige. I'm not sure what second prestige means, but second prestige. So we do know episode 10 is the end of season 2 for the story of Counterside, and season 3 starts with 11, and so Six Wings being the name for season 11 or episode 11 means Six Wings are playing a role in season 3, so that's cool. But yeah, that's the official information, and I think I kind of summarized and hit the big points here. So hopefully, you know, that brings a little bit more clarity and a little bit more interest in what's to come. I will, of course, leave the link to this entire thing in the description of the video, so you can go kind of scroll through, check it out yourself, look at the images, and maybe one of the things I didn't really cover, you know, maybe that so one of those things answers a question you had. So well, that being said, thank you for watching. Hit like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Counterside content, and I will see you all in the future for whatever is to come next. Peace.